Today we're going to make some homemade buttery biscuits. This recipe is so simple. It only calls for 4 ingredients. So what we have here is 2 cups of self-rising flour. So we're going to go ahead and add this in. Flour bath there. We have 2 tablespoons of finely chopped cold butter. It has to be cold and chopped in small cubes. I like my biscuits a little bit sweet, so I added in a half a tablespoon of sugar. It also calls for heavy whipping cream. Now this, guys, I don't really measure. So what I want you to do is pour this in until, just a little. We're gonna start out with a little. And then start your mixer on. Now if you don't have a KitchenAid, don't fret. Because you can do this with your hands, or you can use a pastry cutter to blend in everything. I prefer the KitchenAid. It's quicker and easier. So let me go ahead and get this mixed up. So as I'm mixing this, I'm paying attention to my dough. I don't want it sticky, but I do want it, the butter cut into the flour. So we're gonna get a kind of, not really a crumbly substance, but it will be really mixed up good. So I'm gonna add a little more. Keep in mind, you don't want it to be sticky. I'm gonna take this dough out in a minute and show you what we're gonna end up with. So I do have my dough hook on here. I'm gonna add a little more heavy cream. Using this is kind of hard, so you can see how my KitchenAid is kind of jumping a little bit. That means it's coming together. I'm going to add in a little more heavy cream. And then I'm going to finally take it out so you can see what the dough consistency should look like. I got a little bit of more dry substance in the bottom, so I'm going to add in a little more heavy whipping cream. Okay, now I've brought everything together, so I'm going to stop this in 1 second and I'm going to show you what the dough should look like. Okay, take my dough hook off. And go ahead and show you what it should look like. This is what your dough should look like. You see it's not gooey, sticky, but it is well mixed together. So this is what we're looking for, this substance. So what I'm gonna do is I am going to flour this area, and then I'll show you how I cut it out. So let me get some flour. So you don't want to pour a lot of flour, you just want enough to cover an area. My area is clean, so you do want to have a clean area to work with. And put your dough down. Just make sure you get enough on there so it doesn't stick. Believe it or not, for this, it doesn't require a rolling pin, which is so easy. So you may get up in the morning, you say, I want me some sausages, and I do want some biscuits, but I don't want any in a can. But homemade is better. I have to say that it is. With this recipe only calling for 2 cups of self-rising flour, you will get about 10 biscuits out of this. So what I'm doing is I'm pressing down. It's not sticking. I'll raise it up a little more. Put a little more flour, because when I cut these out, I don't want them to stick to the counter. So I have it pressed out. And then I'm gonna take a dough cutter. I have one here. Depends on what size you use. You can use a cup if you have a small cup. If you don't have one of these, that will surely work. So I cut them out. Show you what size biscuits I'm gonna get. So what I do is I just keep cutting out until basically I use all my dough. So the good thing about this recipe is self-rising flour has everything in it already. You don't have to add any salt. You just basically just go ahead and work with it. So right now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and I have a little bit of dough left over. So I'm gonna ball this back up, press it out again, cut me one more. So I did end up with, let's see, I got about 9. So usually, guys, I usually end up with one little crazy piece. I'll just pat that out. That would be a little play biscuit for one of my grandkids. But anyway, that's what you do. Let me get this cleaned up and get them onto a sprayed pan to bake in. I am preheating my oven to 350 degrees. Let me get these baked up. I'll be right back and show you what I'm going to do to them next. Stay tuned. Hey, welcome back. Our biscuits are finished baking. They're looking like they're pretty nice and golden. So let's get them out and finish them up. Wow, they look really, really good. So, let's see what we're gonna do. I like pumpkin butter sometimes at this time of the year with my biscuits. Tastes pretty good. If I don't do that, I usually sometimes use wild clover honey. And guess what? Even though they have butter in them, still gonna add some more. So let me take one out and see what we did. Let's see here. Wow, really nice and golden, if you could see that. So let me open it. Kind of hot. Oh, look at that. And you know what? At my last recording, I didn't taste, but today I'm tasting. I think I'm gonna go for the pumpkin butter, just a little bit. Yummy, yummy, yummy. You guys, that's my favorite word, yummy. So if I say that a lot, excuse me. As usual, the recipe will be posted in the description. And I hope you try it, because I'm gonna try it now. I had them before, they are delicious. But I'm gonna taste it with you guys. Let's see. Bon appetit. Oh my God. Look. Can you see the butter running through that? Mmm. They're not dry. They're delicious. All I need with these is an egg, and how about a piece of bacon? Thank you so much for joining me. This is VeeJayz Food, and we'll see you next time. Bye.